Appreciate everybody coming out. A lot of familiar faces, so a lot of you know me. For those who have never been to a meeting, I'm Kevin Williams. I'm the inspector of the 2nd Precinct, the commanding officer. We do our meetings. We have community meetings every month, and every other month they're here during the day, and then the other ones are at the South Huntington Library at night. I see we have some elected official representatives. Somebody from Stephanie's office, right? Stephanie Bontempi. Any other elected officials, representatives that yes, what office?
Shannon Wilson, Suffolk County District Attorney's Office.
District Attorney's Office, thank you for coming. Rebecca Sannon just walked in, one of our county legislators. Appreciate you coming. We got Walter in the back. We got Andre, the Superintendent of Highways, and Chris Lau, the Director of Public Safety. So thank you guys for coming, I appreciate it. So I guess let's get started. We'll get started with the numbers. These are our index crimes for the precinct for year to date. Okay, so as you see, we've been fortunate. No homicides. Robberies, last year we had 8, this year only 4, so we're down. It's good. Assaults, 39, in 24, and 38 this year, so slightly down. Residential burglaries, 16 last year, only 5 this year. Actually, that should be 6, because we had one just 2 days ago, and I didn't get a chance to update that. So we're still down, though, in the residential burglaries, which is up. As you can see, we are up in commercial burglaries. There's been a crew hitting a lot of these smoke shops that are out there. They did quite a few. We had a couple in our precinct, so that kind of pushed our number up a little for the year. So unfortunately, we're up in the commercial burglary category.
Inspector, just I want to add too, and that stat is a lot of times when we've now started to charge burglary with the Home Depot thefts. If we issued a trespass affidavit to people and they come back in, they can be identified, we could charge them with burglary, so that falls under commercial burglary.
That's a good point. It does affect the numbers a little bit. For my concern, it's a burglary, but it's a different type of burglary, like where there's like a store that someone breaks into. This is a store that's open, but technically the guy doesn't have permission to be there. So yes, it does. It's a good point that he put it out. So that'll raise the numbers a little bit on that. Larcenies, we had 680 in 24 and 628, so just down a little. And vehicle thefts stayed the same. That's a big number, but again, some of the vehicle thefts are not technically thefts. They're unauthorized use of a vehicle. Somebody takes the vehicle or keeps a rental car past the time it's due, and that gets put in the category of a vehicle theft. But we have had quite a few vehicle thefts in the precinct, and I talk about it a lot. We need you to lock your vehicle. We need you to take your keys inside, because a lot of times people are leaving their keys, believe it or not, in the vehicle itself, and it just makes it that much easier for these thieves to take your car. So if you could help us out by make sure you secure all your property, that'd be a good thing. And then we'll go monthly from May to June. We'll look at the numbers. Okay, again, no homicides, no robberies. Assaults, we were even at 8. Residential burglaries, it should be 1 for June. Okay, so we're up slightly. Commercial burglaries, in June we had 4. In May we had 3, up a little bit. Larcenies, we are down a little bit. June 101, in May 118. And then vehicle thefts were up again. I just spoke about the vehicle theft. So overall, the numbers aren't terrible, but it is the summertime now, and it tends to, crime tends to increase. We did a search warrant on Kilmer Avenue in Dix Hills on the 6th. 3 subjects were arrested and charged with drug possession. They were in possession of fentanyl and crack. A 4th subject was charged with robbery 3rd degree, which was a warrant. The subject was in the house. He had a warrant for a robbery and criminal impersonation. So that was over on Kilmer Avenue in Dix Hills, for any of you that live over in that area, if you had a concern on this house. Another search warrant, this was in East Northport on the 12th. Our narcotics detectives and 2nd Precinct detectives executed a search warrant. This is on 5th Avenue in East Northport. 2 subjects were charged with drug possession, cocaine, and methamphetamine. So 5th Avenue in East Northport. This was a search warrant we did on the Oasis smoke shop. I think this was in the paper. You might have seen this. Okay, so on 18th, our 2nd Precinct investigative unit, we used to call it the crime section. Now it's changed to the investigative unit. The New York State Office of Cannabis Management and the town of Huntington executed a search warrant at the business. 2 employees were arrested and charged with unlawful sale of cannabis, criminal possession of cannabis, marijuana, THC vapes, and flavored vapes, and cash were all seized. Got some pictures of that one. That's the Oasis. That's right at, I believe it's Laurel and Belrose, or Larkfield and Belrose, right on the corner there. There's some of the cannabis. Some more. They're openly selling this, so they were shut down. Some of the vapes. And this has been a location that we've received many complaints about. So the officers did a great job, and appreciate the help of the Office of Cannabis Management and the town. Compliance checks. So again, a big concern in the precinct are these smoke shops that sell to underage. So we do these sting operations where we use an underage agent, and we send them in to see if these shops will sell to an underage person.
Inspector, I just want to say something. Whatever your thoughts are on legalization of marijuana, without getting into that, they shouldn't be selling to kids. That's the biggest thing, and that's why we're doing these regulatory checks. And not only that, but in order to get a license to sell marijuana in New York State, you all know it's incredibly expensive, and it's a very selective process. So it's also not fair to those businesses that actually are applying the legal way to do it, to sell marijuana, as opposed to these shops that are actually having marijuana openly being sold to children in our community. That's why these regulatory checks are being done.
Thank you. So we did the compliance checks on, what is it, the 26th, okay? PCS, the town of Huntington again, thanks guys for the help. And we sent in the underage agent. So we hit these places all the time, and we hit them pretty hard, but in this case, as you can see, 12 of them were in compliance, which is a good thing. So maybe they're shaping up a little bit just from us going down there and putting some pressure on them to, you know, to ID better and to follow the law. So 12 of those shops, and you can see them all. I won't go over, there's too many to read, but you can see we've had complaints on a lot of these, and we've hit them before, and we violated them. So they're starting to fall into compliance, which is good. The only one that wasn't in compliance was the Huntington Mart, 278 East Jericho and Huntington Station, and they charged an employee with unlawfully dealing with a child for selling tobacco products to someone under the proper age. Just yesterday, or the 30th, so yeah, we did a massage parlor, and with the town, okay, and our human trafficking officers were also on this one. The fire marshal, code enforcement, conducted an investigation at the Long Island Garden Spa. It's located at 2090 Jericho Turnpike in East Northport. 2 women were arrested there. Whoop. And charged with, here we go, unauthorized practice of a profession and prostitution. So one's a felony, one's a misdemeanor. The town issued 6 code violations, and they're conducting a further investigation into the business. We hit these massage parlors on a regular basis, usually do about once a month. So this was another one. Fight club arrest, for lack of a better term for this, there was an illegal fight club operating in the precinct. And by the good work of our investigative unit, they found some information about this on social media, and they just conducted an investigation into this. This is like an old movie or something, but these guys were fighting, and there was a promoter, and they were actually collecting money to watch these 2 kids fight. So we were able to do a surveillance, and we were able to find out where they were hosting the event, and right when it started, our officers went in there. They arrested the 2 participants. The promoter fled and got away, but I'm happy to say that several days later, we caught up with him, and he was arrested and charged also. So this took place, as you can see, on the 22nd. It was at a soccer field located behind 2559 New York Avenue in Huntington Station. Again, they conducted the surveillance, and they saw the promoter was advertising this on Instagram. $10, you got to watch the fight, and we were able to arrest everybody involved with this. So this was nice. I mean, this is really dangerous. You know, I mean, professional boxing and stuff, they have doctors at the ring and there's trainers, and if someone gets seriously hurt, you'll know it. This could really be bad, so we can't allow this to happen. Guys, our investigative unit did a terrific job on this one.
And the promoters forgot the first rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club.
Right. Yeah. This is actually the first I'm hearing about something like this in Suffolk County, so let's hope this is the end of it, but you know, we'll keep looking at it and make sure it doesn't come up again. Some illegal gambling arrests. A lot of times we get complaints, there's some illegal gambling going on around in the town. There's certain locations that these guys, they like to throw dice, they call it street dice. And again, our investigative unit did a terrific job. They did surveillance on this location, 72 Pulaski Road on the 30th, in the parking lot or behind all-weather tire. And guys were throwing dice and they had money going down and everything. So our guys hit the game, and they locked up a bunch of people for gambling second and loitering second. It is a quality of life thing. We get complaints on this occasionally.
Is this the same as the one you talked about last month at the precinct meeting? It's the same arrest?
I wasn't there, so
yeah,
no.
yes.
I don't think so. Well, oh yes, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, it was at the end.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I didn't know if this was on, and it was the 30th, so yeah, he probably did speak about this one. But we've gotten many complaints from people, and anyway, we acted on it, and we got a couple of guys for this. Assault second arrest, Friday, June 20th at 10:40 p.m., Leyden Street, Huntington Station. It was during a house party. A male stated he was involved in a verbal dispute with an unknown female. Apparently the boyfriend found out about this, got involved. He broke a beer bottle, he slashed the guy. The victim was treated at the hospital and received 23 stitches, so he got cut pretty bad. The second squad detectives investigated the incident, and they were able to identify the suspect, and he was arrested and charged with assault. So nice job by the detectives doing a follow-up on that. Sometimes the investigations are easier than the other ones, but this was a good job here. Another assault, Sunday, June 8th, 11:35 p.m., so kind of late at night. Nags Head Bar, 396 New York Avenue in Huntington. Our patrol units responded to a call of a male stabbed in front of the Nags Head. The victim left the scene prior to the officers getting there. Huntington Hospital was contacted. They said, yes, somebody just walked in with some stab wounds. The detectives were called out and they responded to interview this person. And unfortunately, he refused to cooperate with us. So he was stabbed a couple of times too. I guess the injuries were non-life threatening, but he doesn't want the police involved. I guess, I don't know what he's gonna do. So we can't force people, but we had this.
Doesn't mean that that the squad doesn't continue the investigation, that they're able to develop independent information. But it's very hard to proceed without a complainant's cooperation.
Exactly. A burglary at the church, St. Matthew's Church, on the LI Service Road in Dix Hills on the 21st, about 2:25 in the morning. So an unknown suspect broke the lock on the side of the church and entered it unlawfully. The suspect damaged property within the church in excess of $5,500. He was seen on video surveillance. He was naked while he was inside the church, so I'm thinking maybe he has, you know, some mental issues. Patrol officers received the call of a man walking on a Carl Strait path with a baseball cap and no shoes on. So they stopped him. He was identified as the burglar and he was arrested. And he was transported to Huntington Hospital later on for psychiatric treatment. So he definitely has some psychiatric issues. He was walking by the church and decided he was going to break into the church. This is a burglary I was just talking about. This was Saturday at 9 a.m. on Pheasant Lane in Ashroken Village. The homeowner left his residence to go out for the day, and he left his son and daughter home. As he pulled out of his driveway, he noticed this black Mercedes with New Jersey plates parked in front of his house. I guess the vehicle, he didn't think anything of it at the time. It's weird because Ashroken Village is kind of a quiet place, and to see a car, there's not many cars that are, you're not really allowed to park on the road there as far as I know. But anyway, he didn't think much of it. So I guess they watched him leave and decided to wait about an hour and 25 minutes, which again, I'm surprised because the Ashroken police are all over the place. They waited about an hour and 25, and then the son inside heard someone banging, and then he heard glass breaking. He ran into the bathroom with his cell phone or called 911. When he exited the bathroom, he came face to face with the suspect, who was all masked up and had gloves on. He startled the suspect. The guy ran out the front door, jumped in the Mercedes, and they took off. There were two of them because there's video surveillance that shows two suspects. How they got out of Ashroken without getting caught, I'm surprised. It's one way in, one way out, but it must have been a little delay by the time the 911 call got down to them, and they were able to get out of there. It turns out, though, those plates were switched on that vehicle, so it's going to be hard to follow this one up. But our detectives investigate all burglaries in this precinct, and they'll be working on this one. This is a rarity. This usually doesn't occur down in that way, and for that reason, because there's only one way in and one way out.
Curious about the jurisdiction there. Is that like the Ashroken police?
They have their own police, yes, but we investigate all the felonies in there. They don't have detectives.
Could it be possible that the car or the resident, it was a resident that lived somewhere else in Ashroken, and they, instead of driving out, they just went back to another house?
They got them leaving. They got them leaving
Oh,
on the, yeah, they know they left. So somebody from somewhere else.
They're gonna use LPR cameras to look and try to find out whether, did it flee the area, did it flee the state, did it hit the bridges going over, into Long Island, so that they'll use all that technology.
Yeah, it was a stolen plate out of New Jersey, so who knows what the car comes back to. Weapons arrest. This was a weapons arrest. This occurred during a domestic incident on Thursday the 26th, 7:30 a.m., Avalon Court in Melville. Patrol officers discovered that the homeowner was in possession of a legal handgun with a high-capacity magazine, so he was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a firearm and criminal possession of a weapon third. And there's a picture of the weapon and the high-capacity magazines. Illegally possessed. Good job by patrol officers to discover that. Grand larceny, hate crime. Wednesday, June 4th, 4 p.m., St. Patrick's School in Huntington. An unknown male was observed on video surveillance entering a meeting room and stealing a Dell laptop and a religious statue worth about $2,500. The area is open to the public, so we didn't force entry to get in, and the hate crimes unit is going to wind up investigating this burglary.
What makes it a hate crime?
Religious location, so a church, or this, in this case, it's connected to the church, St. Patrick's, yes. This was a burglary. I spoke earlier about some of our commercial burglaries. This was one of them at the smoke shops. This was Evolve Smoke Shop on the 2nd at 1:32 a.m. The complainant reports two unknown suspects wearing hoodies and masks. They threw a brick through the window, and they entered the store, and they stole about $800 cash from the register. This team has hit numerous places throughout the county. So I believe, what is it? Major Cases looking into this.
Major Case has all these cases. It's a pattern that's going on throughout the county, and I think there was an arrest made on a couple of subjects.
Was there? I didn't hear about it. Okay.
I think they evolved and made a couple of arrests. So we've been quiet. There hasn't been any further burglaries.
Okay, massage parlor. Wait, was this old? This might be old. April, yeah, sorry. Okay, the site team sergeant did not get back to me. Sorry, I can't give you those numbers. He said he'd have them for me this afternoon, but that's not going to help me. So we'll just skip that one. They do come into the precinct. If you don't know what the site team is, it's the highway officers. They come in and they hit our target locations on a monthly basis. They usually spend, 4 or 5 days in the precinct, and they concentrate on moving violations. And they write quite a bit of summonses, and we appreciate their help. Unfortunately, the meeting's early this month, so the sergeant didn't get to tally up the numbers to give them to me, so I'll throw them on next month's presentation, and we'll have 2 months worth of numbers from the site team. But they are a big help to us. They supplement us with our traffic problems. We didn't have any fatal accidents in June. That's a positive thing. That's very good. Our officers have been writing a ton of summonses out there. We are one of the precincts that are up for the year, okay? And I appreciate our CSU officers. There he is right there, Anthony. And Pete's the sergeant of that unit. So later on when you have all the complaints about your stop sign or whatever it is, see Pete, he'll take your information. We'll take questions after, don't worry, but that's what they do, and they do a terrific job. These are arrests for the precinct for June. 20 felonies, 90 misdemeanors, 4 assault-related arrests, gang-related arrests, 1 gang member arrested by the gang team, but they also had 10 other arrests of people that weren't gang members. This gang member was a MS-13 that they arrested. It was a bench warrant that he had out, so they caught up with him. Drug-related arrests, we had 15. DWIs, 12, for a total of around 90 arrests for the month. Domestic incidents and overdoses. We responded to about 173 domestic incidences in June, 56 being criminal. 15 arrests so far. That doesn't mean there will be more arrests related to those. Overdoses, we had 2 non-fatal. So we're really good on the overdoses, even though we had 2 non-fatal, and they were both in Huntington Station. So overdoses have gone down significantly over the past several years. Shot spotter. For those of you who don't know what shot spotter is, they have these acoustical receptors set up in an area in Huntington Station where we used to have, if there were gunshots, and we responded to those locations. These receptors, they pick up the sound of the gunshots and they can pinpoint a location. We have an app on our computer. It notifies the officers exactly where we need to respond to, and it's pretty accurate within, maybe 50 feet of where the shots went off. And we'll respond to that location, look for shell casings, look for victims, whatever. In this case, on the 20th at 10:39 p.m., at Railroad Place, they checked negative results, means there were negative results. The officers didn't find any shell casings, they didn't find any victims. So it could have been something as simple as a car backfiring or someone slamming down something on the ground. Sometimes they get mixed signal, but the receptors are out there, and every once in a while we'll get false. But we only had 1 for June, which is good. I'm sure July will be crazy because everybody will be doing the whole fireworks thing. Okay, we got Narcan training set up. Alyssa, you doing this?
Yeah, I think you.
And Jamie, where are you? The girls are doing this at the War Women shops on the 7th, 2 to 4. A nice thing to know. There is a lot of opioids out there, and if you have this, I think they'll give you the Narcan, right? They give you. So you can have this in your home. God forbid, one of your kids or maybe a friend of theirs comes over and, someone does opioids, and you could save their life. So, it's a little thing you could put in your medicine cabinet and have available, and they'll show you how to administer it. So it's a nice training. If anyone's interested, please come on down. Doesn't cost anything, and you get Narcan. You could have it just as a safety thing. Even if maybe your neighbor's kid, collapses or something, you don't know. You may be able to save somebody's life. So if you want, come on down. I left this safety tips up for the pools because, I usually talk about this in May and June when everybody opens them, but please don't forget, really pay attention. Especially if you got kids out there, don't pick up the phone, don't walk away. You should have the life preservers, and maybe if you want, you can learn CPR. this is the time. It's so hot now. All these kids are in the pool. Really got to pay attention, especially if you got little kids and they have a lot of friends over. You know, you turn your back for a second. I
can say, and I think the inspector would agree with me, and the captain as well. I've handled numerous drownings in my career over 32 years, and it's maybe one of the worst calls we go to as cops. Just horrific. There's
been a few already. I mean, recently one I just read about. It was an older person, you know, an elderly person who, I don't know whether they were drinking out, went down, was swimming around in the deep end and didn't come out, and they pulled him out, and he's on a ventilator right now. So you know, even if it's not kids, just pay attention if you have a pool. It's very important. It's nice to have a pool, but there's a responsibility that goes along with it. Okay, National Night Out. I don't have a flyer yet. I wish I did, but it's August 5th at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right now for Manor Park, okay? That's a great night for us, for the community and the police to get together. I'll be there. I'm not sure if, I think you might be away, but if the captain might be there, we'll be there to talk to everybody, and a lot of our officers will be there. So it's a real nice night. They usually have games and food and things to do. So last year, unfortunately, we got rained out. Hopefully that won't happen this year. And that date is actually the second Tuesday. So the next meeting, all right, we all know about that. Hold on. Is Wednesday. It's not Tuesday for next month. We pushed it back a day because we got the National Night Out. All right? So mark your calendars for the... Don't forget. Yeah? You got it? Okay. All right. August 6th, 7 p.m., South Huntington. I put it in red, you know. Wow, fancy, right? Don't get scammed, please. Anything. Gift cards. I talk about the check washing, which is people stealing checks from your mail. If you put in your utility bill, just check your account to make sure that it's the same amount you wrote it for. People have been stealing checks and changing it, and you wind up, the money gets deducted from your account, you don't even notice. Check on a regular basis your account, especially if you write a lot of checks, to make sure it coincides with what you wrote and who you wrote it to. People are getting, you know, their check stolen. They wrote a check for a couple of $1,000s to the IRS, and then they're getting a call like, hey, you owe us money. And the guy's like, no, I wrote the check, but they look and they see it was changed to a different name, and this is a common occurrence, so be very careful with that. And anybody asking for gift cards is a scam. Nobody gets paid in gift cards, please. I saw it on TV just recently where there was a news story on this. Talk about it every month. Nobody's calling you up for bail for a relative either. If you get that phone call, that's another scam. 1 second, we'll get to questions, all right? And then these are some of the reminders. Please lock up all your belongings. If you have videos, put them on at night for us. Sometimes if a crime occurs in your neighborhood. Can I talk about that? Yeah. The legislator sent me a link to someone in the neighborhood anyway, had somebody rummaging in their driveway, trying doors. We had a nice clear picture of them. She was nice enough to send it to me. I gave it to our investigators. So sometimes your videos help us. We use that as evidence. We appreciate that if you have video surveillance devices. You know, set them, because we can use that. Kenny, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say hi. Our ambassador, Kenny. Good to see you, Ken.
Good to see you.
All right. Well, we'll do questions. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Just wanted to say with the whitewashing, that actually happened to me last week.
The check washing? Yes. Okay. Tell me the story.
I dropped off checks at one of the local post offices.
Inside?
In the bin right in front of the door, the lock bin.
Go in. Okay, but go ahead.
A couple days later, I checked the bank account, and the number was changed. And you know, with the newer banks, they send you the full scan of the checks.
Yes.
They completely changed the name out, changed the number amount, got rid of the memo. Luckily, I had a scanned copy of the check that I wrote out.
Good.
So I've been dealing with that with the bank, but it happens around here.
It's very common right now. It's a big thing.
In this area, if you're sending checks out, check your bank accounts and make sure you maybe a picture you just wrote down who you sent it to. So if you have to go to the bank or the post office and let them know that you sent them a check out exactly who it went to.
Thank you for sharing your story. Yes.
It's ongoing.
I talk about it on a monthly basis. It's more common than you think. I'm gonna get in trouble because I recommend going into the post office, but I did this several months ago, and David over there told me I did what you recommended, and it still happened to him. So there's no guarantee that if you go into the post office it won't happen, but that's why I say check your bank accounts on a regular, your checking accounts, to make sure those checks are proper. Who else? Yes, sir.
There's a story on social media, just popped up in the last 24 hours about two guys in a car off of Little Neck that approached a white car that approached some girl. She was going into her house.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's a little more to the story, but I'm not familiar with all. I just want to know if there's any truth to that.
When was this? Today?
Within the last 24 hours, when did the last time?
Go ahead.
I didn't see anything in any of the tour reports or communication section, do you log, but I just see Alyssa writing it down as we're talking about it. We'll follow up with it and see if there's anything. We like to get in front of those, even if it's just sketchy information, just because it could lead to something else later on if we shut it down.
Right.
So I'm sure it'll get assigned to an investigator to look into it.
Yeah, just so you know, it was off of Little Neck or on Little Neck and Center.
Was this a young girl walking down the street alone?
Yeah, I didn't get the whole thing. It seemed like it was later at night, so I don't know how old she was.
Oh, later at night, okay.
They tried to snatch her, which, if that is what happened, you guys would know about.
Okay, yeah, no, so far this morning I haven't heard anything about that, but we can look into it. Thank you for bringing it up. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is something that happened to us a few days ago. So I live on
Okay.
one lot of one property south. So you see about what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last Sunday we came out of our driveway. There was a car about where the light was. So it's about 100 yards, right? So there's plenty of room. I pulled out, and this guy, to show his anger that I was actually in front of him, pulled up and ran me off the road. Cut me so, I mean, it's a good thing I was paying attention. He cut me so tight that if I continued straight, I would have broadsided him.
Wow.
So, better that I run off the road.
Right.
Then he pulls out, goes in front of the car, in front of me by 100 yards or so, does the same thing to him.
Wow.
We caught up with him at the light, which was at Vanderbilt, I guess, so it's half a mile down. And took his license plate. At that point, we were right next to him. And
Sure.
he opens the window and just goes hairy on me with profanity and other appropriate gestures.
Got it. Yeah.
Right? And then took off.
But you did get his plate?
Sorry?
You did get his plate?
Well,
Okay.
not only that, we called you folks,
Okay.
and said, hey, this is what happened. So now my question is, okay, so you have a witness, two witnesses,
Sure.
right? He's positively identified by the license plate. Is there any reason you can't go out and arrest people like this? Because they're just going to keep doing it.
No, I would say no. If we have statements from you.
I think I'd like you to look into that.
Of course.
See whether they pick, because there's a lunatic. I mean, there's waving his hands around and swearing at me and the finger and the rest.
Yeah,
This is after I got run off the road.
If we have enough evidence to make an arrest, we certainly will. And two people in the car with the statement. Yeah, no, that's fine. Reckless driving, maybe something like that. We could probably do that, depending on what the circumstances, but you did the best thing. You got the plate, you called us, you made the report. That gets the ball rolling, and if the plate is good, we can find out where this guy lives and go have a conversation with him and see what the problem.
Pick him out of the photo.
Pardon?
Yeah.
You would still have to pick him out of a photo array.
I could pick them out.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
No problem.
I'm sure it's not a problem. But yeah, no, we can follow up on that. That's not a problem at all. I'm glad you came down.
We'll get to it because we called 911 and gave them the information.
Okay. Did someone come and make a report?
By the time you call, he's already gone.
Well, that doesn't matter.
You walked in, the officer? Or
No. So we just called 911.
Oh.
My phone number.
Okay, then no. You disappeared, we don't have a complainant, you need to come into the precinct and make a formal report.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're on our way somewhere.
Yeah, no problem. That's all right. Yeah.
You wanna have your cake and eat it too, right? Okay, no, you need to come in, you need to make a report, and then we get the ball rolling.
You still got all the information?
You mean a telephone call won't do it?
No, no, you didn't meet with the officer, he didn't take the, you know, he took the information, but it was just filed as a report by anonymous complainant. He doesn't have your name and information.
He took our name.
You said you spoke to the officer, you didn't?
No, 911. He's talking
That's
911.
a dispatcher, that's a dispatcher. You need to come in, come on in, let's go, we're warm and friendly.
All right.
Yeah, we'll take a report. We'll take a report and we'll follow up.
What?
We'll take a report and follow up on it. No problem. We'll take.
You mean on this specific one?
Yes, yeah. That's what you want, right?
I do.
Okay, no problem.
I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah.
You did something about it, and
Well,
this guy's not gonna do it to somebody else.
when you just tell 911, that information a lot of times doesn't get to our investigators. You have to actually speak to a physical officer and give him that. He starts a report. This is how the system works. He'll start a report and put all the information down. This guy was driving whatever type of car, whatever type of plate it is. You got the plate. You give him a description. So an officer's now writing all this down, and then he's going to forward to our precinct investigative officers who'll look into this and see if we can maybe get a reckless driving thing out of this. But that's how it all starts. Just a 911 call is not enough. You got to wait. Did they ask you, could you meet with an officer, or you said you couldn't?
They didn't do anything. They said thank you.
That was it? Okay. Usually they'll get your address and they'll send an officer to your location or where you are now.
I think they took her phone number also.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Oh, if somebody wanted to follow up, they had enough to get to us.
Give your information to Alyssa after, and we'll work something out. Okay? We'll figure it out.
Let's do the report today.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you're going to pass the precinct on the way home, so we could do that. We could do that. Yes.
I have two things. Just to follow up with what he said. Deer Park Road is dangerous. There is racing all day and all night. You know, we hear it in our bedroom, and we're set all the way back, and it's just unbelievable. And you hear the cars, and they come with these loud noises, you know, with their cars, and so. But that's not the question I really want to ask. I'm going to ask, what do you feel, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to answer this or not, about these ICE agents coming with their masks and no ID, and these poor people that are being taken away. I mean, they don't. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. It really and truly is.
Well, you know, somebody had asked me this. I got an email about this. One of our PLAB members. Our policy hasn't changed. We don't work in conjunction with ICE. We don't work with them. So they're the federal government, and they have their own rules and whatever they do. All right. The only time we're ever helping them is if they call and, you know, they're getting attacked by people. Like you see this in California, where people are coming after them, and then the police we will go and assist to keep the peace. But we're not rounding people up. Just so you know, everybody should know that's not what we do in the Suffolk County Police. We're not authorized to do it, and we don't do it. So if they have some kind of operation that they're doing, and there's a problem with traffic and stuff, we will help with traffic. But we're not handcuffing anybody. We're not deporting anybody. We don't do that. That's our policy. That's the police department's policy. So I don't really want to comment on the.
A fire department recently in the last month.
Yeah, I don't think the fire department was really aware that they met in their parking lot. They just used a parking lot that was available, so I guess they had to get together and talk about their strategy, and they just happened to use that because it was available. I'm pretty sure they didn't get an okay from the fire department to go there, and can we use your parking lot? But, you know, I guess they'll use a different parking lot next time. But again, just so it's very clear to everybody, we don't assist ICE with deportations. We don't do that, okay? But the only time, like I said, is if there's a breach of the peace or there's they're causing a traffic issue, we're gonna flow traffic through. But we're not getting involved with handcuffing anybody. All right? We will help to protect them, though. They are fellow law enforcement officers. Okay? Yes, Rebecca.
I just want to give you the opportunity, Inspector, also to remind people that if somebody is a victim or a witness to crime, you're not asking about their status. You want them to report crime as they see it.
Exactly. We don't. Part of our policy also is we don't ask anybody who's a victim of a crime or wants to report a crime, what their immigration status is. We just handle it like any other person. We're not asking anybody. So we want people to come forward to report crimes. We want them to trust the Suffolk County Police Department. We don't want them to be afraid of us. We're here to serve them also, okay? So that is our policy. We do not ask immigration status for any purpose. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you had?
Just a quick question. Is Nassau County policy different than Suffolk?
Yes.
It is, yes, yeah. Walter.
I just want to say thank you for everything you guys do. You know, you guys, looks like you guys are on top of everything. Officers are out there all the time working. The COPE officers are good in the community. And I just want to say thank you for everything you guys have done in the community, making it safe and better. Thank you.
Thank you. The love's back at you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to throw something back at the community. You don't have to raise your hand whether or not you went to the protests in Huntington that we had to deal with. But I have to tell you, like, you know, one of the great things about this country, we're certainly not perfect. We have a lot of flaws. It still is the greatest country in the world because people were able to express their opinions and their views and their upsetment about things. And it was peaceful, it was respectful, they listened to us, we had a job to do. Our job primarily at those circumstances to keep everybody safe. And when we were over by Sabbath Day crime in that area on 25A, we were really worried, the captain and I, about people getting hit by cars. So they were able to do this, the lieutenant governor showed up and gave a speech. Everybody was peaceful, and they even thanked us for keeping them safe. That happened there, and it also happened in Huntington Station when they did the march from the train station to Huntington Manor, which is what you were talking about. And they gave us a shout out there. So that's how it's supposed to go. So I want to thank the community for
Yeah, on that note, the DI and the captain, they ran those protests, and I did get some really nice letters from the community speaking about the way everything was handled and how polite we were, and people couldn't thank them enough. So to these guys, you guys did a fantastic job. Also, all the officers here, everybody that was there, they did a terrific job. What?
You didn't bring your visitors up.
Visitors? Oh, I didn't bring the officers. Oh, you want to do that now?
I would love to.
All right, sorry, I forgot. All right, so can you guys come up and introduce yourself, please?
Kevin, I gotta go because I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Shake some people down for lunch.
All right. I don't need to know about that.
I want to let everybody know how for me, it's an honor to work close with you guys as the highway department and as the fire commissioner. So I just want to say thank you to you and your team and my turkey drive, which you guys do for me. And we work together. I don't think people know that. You know, these guys help me give out 3,000 turkeys a year. Wow. And no one ever says, hey, we got no time. So for 17 years now, they've been...
No time, there's no turkeys left.
So
Thank you.
Get some other elected officials riled up because I want to pave more roads.
All right. Oh, Superintendent of Highways. Thank you, Andre. All right, you ready? Pete?
Okay. Hello, I'm Sergeant Pete Zotos from Suffolk County's 2nd Precinct Community Support Unit. I'm one of the 2 supervisors that supervise the community support team. We handle all your traffic complaints within the precinct, quality of life events and conditions, and all the community fairs and festivals.
Awesome. I'm Anthony Modica, this is my boss. So, I've been down there for like a year and a half now, and like you said, we do traffic enforcement and whatever you guys need help out.
Thank you. Good morning, Brittany Sierra, one of the 2nd Precinct School Resource Officers.
Haley Perez, I'm also part of the CSU team.
Jamie Wessenhoff, 2nd Precinct Code.
Rob Jinks, 2nd Precinct SRO.
Alyssa Downey, 2nd Precinct Code. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
How about our celebrity?
Who are we talking about?
Jamie. She's trying behind the scenes. She's on TV.
Oh, was she? I didn't know that. What happened? Tell me. You're on TV?
My daughter was on Miss 12 for figure skating.
Oh, congratulations. That's great.
Just to bring it up, hi Jamie. Jamie's daughter trying to get to the Olympics.
Yeah.
So every time you see Jamie, please pass on, wish your daughter well. I can't wait to see the Olympics and your daughter.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And it's kind of weird.
That would be great. Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question regarding National Night Out.
Yes.
The 8 o'clock was even on the set up a table at all the locations. The contact person for that day.
You want to set up a table, you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You'll take care of it?
You can contact me too. I have a meeting tomorrow in the town. It's actually our first meeting. We're a little behind. But it's the same day every year, so it'll be fine. Give me your contact, and then as soon as I meet with them, I'm going to get a list of all the tables and give it to them.
Yes.
Fireworks, you didn't talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that was going to come up. Yeah. Okay, so can we mute for a second?
We'll cut it out. Just say
Okay.
cut.
So several meetings ago, I was here that I asked, you know, I understand that, you know, 4th of July is coming up and fireworks supposed to be illegal, and they are illegal, but we all know what happens. I threw it out there looking for some anonymous tips, maybe so that we could investigate. I did get one letter that was anonymous about a location, so we looked into that, which is good, but I'm always looking for anything that anyone wants to give us to help us out as far as that. Yes, fireworks are illegal. You're going to hear them on the 4th of July. There's not much we could do. It's hard because we have to see them, or we have to see somebody actually lighting them off. But they have some of these commercial grade ones. This is for safety purposes, that I would recommend that if you're at a party and someone's lighting these huge mortars off, I would not stay around there, especially if I had children, because sometimes these things, you know, they don't always go where they're supposed to go. And you've seen, you know, videos of where the thing shoots off into the whole box, and then the whole place, you know, you get an explosion. So they're very dangerous. I mean, I don't know how these people get a hold of these gigantic mortars. If we catch them with those, that's an explosive. That's a pretty serious charge. I believe it's a felony. So we'll have no problem arresting somebody for that. But you know, it's so widespread, it's so hard to keep control of. But they are illegal, and I just warn people, don't be the guy, you know, that looks down the tube or picks up the firework that you think's a dud, because every year somebody loses a couple of fingers or an eye or something like that. I know the department does a press thing where they show the car blowing up full of fireworks. I was kind of like, well, why don't we put one of these people that maybe, you know, lost some fingers up there, and maybe people would take it a little bit more seriously. But, you know, inevitably, somebody always gets hurt. And, you know, they're very dangerous, so just be careful. But I wish everybody a happy Independence Day. It's a great holiday to celebrate. So hopefully everybody has a wonderful Independence Day. And we will be out with Stop DUI drinking and driving enforcement. That's a warning. Please use, you know, whatever public transportation or the private ones that you can, you know, what is it, Uber, Lyft, all these. These are all options. You know, definitely, you know, exercise that, use good judgment, you know, celebrate, that's fine, but don't drink and drive, please, because we are going to be out there and we will be arresting people. So just so you know.
Can I request you do a drive-by? I mean, these people.
We'll talk after. If you have a location for me, I'd love to get the location. I've been asking for anything, you know, so, you know, we look good if we're making arrests for fireworks, so it's not a problem for me. Okay?
They're just mean, so I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll talk after.
Just a cop for that.
Yeah.
Just come talk to him. But at least he has inspected.
Yes.
You know, two things.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, county executive was on talking about these rides, shared cars, the illegal ones.
Oh, right, yeah, illegal taxis?
And you go down into the
Yeah.
Right? All you see down there is Prius, Jersey, or Pennsylvania plates, and they, you know, the phone mounted. All they're doing is ripping off the people in the community.
Okay.
They meet a lot at Home Depot.
Oh, they're out at the Home Depot? Yeah, okay. We'll have to look into that. We'll get together with the town and talk about that, because I think that's probably a town code thing, where they're not allowed to operate as a taxi or something.
Well, it's good reason to stop.
Yeah, no, I agree.
My second question.
Sure.
Okay, which I asked the deputy inspector at the last meeting about issuing tickets to people who leave their keys in the car. And it all came to light in the last few weeks. We have the one with Smith Haven Mall where they left a 2-year-old in the car.
Right, yeah.
One in Tanga. Right?
Sure.
Can I grab this, Inspector?
Okay.
I said this before, those are two separate incidents. What you're asking before, which we got into the last meeting, which I disagree with, and it's a discretionary thing. When someone has their car stolen, and we do have cars stolen, I don't know what the percentages are because people leave their keys in the car. It's almost like that's their penalty for doing that. But that's a very traumatic experience when someone has their car stolen. The Suffolk County Police do not make it a practice to issue summonses to people who have their car stolen for leaving the keys in the car. We're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. So what you're talking about is a crime. Leaving a child in the car, leaving a pet in the car with locked windows on a hot day, those are two separate issues. So I just want to be clear with that. You kind of make it.
I understand that, and I perfectly understand that. But prior to that, when I asked you, I was talking about the guy who walks into 7-Eleven, leaves his car running and drives out, who speeds away because he's just stolen a car. Right?
What does that have to do with the person leaving the key in the car?
Let me finish. So the guy drives away and he hits a pedestrian and kills him.
You're talking about two separate issues.
No, you're not.
Yes,
you're
you
talking
are.
about a car that is now uninsured. There's no insurance. But besides that, okay, this guy has left his car running. That pedestrian wouldn't be dead if he didn't violate the law.
I got it, but that's a summons for an unoccupied motor vehicle, and we do issue those summonses.
Yeah, there's something like that, leaving it running at 7-Eleven. If the officer witnesses that, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
You don't want to add injury to insult.
No, what I
No,
said
that's for a stolen vehicle.
You were talking about specifically leaving keys in the car. You're changing the fact pattern.
It's all right. We won't, listen, if we see the car at 7-Eleven and the officer pulls in and he sees a car running, he's going to have a conversation with that person, and it could result in a summons being issued, absolutely. With the stolen car thing, when someone reports their car stolen to us and they tell us, you know, we always ask with the keys in it, it makes a difference on a report. We don't like to give that ticket because, you know, they already are a victim from their car being stolen. Is it their fault? Kinda, yes, but they're, you know, they're still a thief. But yeah, the 7-Eleven thing is a different story than someone getting their car stolen. I understand the point. But yeah, we're not opposed to the guy that pulls in to get coffee and leaves his car running. But the other point you brought up, which is a very good point, was about leaving kids in the car in this kind of weather. How that happens, I don't know, but people get distracted, and it has happened. And it's a frequent occurrence, and it's terrible because the car gets up to like 120 degrees, even hotter, and you know, these kids can die. So we'll break the window automatically if we get one of those calls. And again, it also goes for pets in the car too. So. Well, I'm saying people get distracted. I don't know how it happens. Like you hear the stories, and you go, how could you possibly do that? But I think there was a father that left 2 kids once he was going to work, or that was a long time ago. But yeah, it's tragic, you know, so it's a good point. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Janine Salgado, the director of the town's youth bureau, and I want to thank you for following through with the compliance with regard to vape shops.
Oh, thank you.
I also oversee the town's drug and alcohol counseling program.
Excellent.
We do a tremendous amount of work with prevention, with youth, for vaping, but unfortunately it's pervasive, and if we cut off the supply, then we hopefully can maybe take a toll.
Would you like to maybe one day come to a meeting and do a little presentation? Okay, can you get her information after, please? Thank you for coming today.
That's great.
Okay, sir.
So in like the recent years, there's been a lot of incidents with catalytic converters being stolen.
Yes.
Is there a trend of it going down?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I used to report on that a lot, but it has plummeted to almost nothing. So it's not even really worthy of mentioning anymore. That's how good it's gotten. So things have gone down. They locked up a lot of people, and I think they made it harder to maybe fence them. So
they've gone to the source, a lot of these investigations, and when they have no place to sell them, then the converter thefts go down. And usually it's a group from the city that comes in and does it in Suffolk and then bolts back out. Once you stop that ring, it goes down. I mean, you're talking about 60 cat converter thefts in a month to 0.
Yeah, it's gone down dramatically.
I mean, I worked in the 3rd before this. We had a pattern going on around there, and once we got Auto Crimes Unit was working with the DA's office, which was working with New Jersey State Police, with the New York State Police, and we shut that down and got the factory where they were actually burning down the metal for it to get the precious metals out of it. We had nothing. We cat converter thefts.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Oh, one more?
Yeah,
June?
Just,
Good.
we wanted to know, Officer Vargas.
Okay.
So we wanted an update on that, and members of the community were kind of questioning why he was able to just, go home with a misdemeanor charge in this case. Some people were commenting.
Okay,
so it'd be good to clarify if you could.
So I'm sure everybody saw the report in the paper. Unfortunately, one of our officers was arrested the other night in the village for driving while intoxicated. He made a terrible decision and got behind the wheel. He wound up hitting a pedestrian, and a pedestrian suffered serious injuries. The officer was arrested at the scene. So the charges, they drew blood because they normally draw blood when we have a serious injuries or fatality, and usually the charge originally will be driving while intoxicated based on the evidence from the scene, but those charges would most likely going to be upgraded to a more serious charge depending on the blood results and how the DA's office wants to handle that. So it's unfortunate. He was a pretty good officer for us, and that's why I spoke about using car services, whatever. We all have that option. Unfortunately, this officer made a poor decision, and he was off duty, and he's going to suffer the consequences. I don't know what that will be. The department will have a hearing, and we'll see what happens. It's a shame. He put his career, and unfortunately, it doesn't reflect well on a lot of us. So we frown upon it. But yeah, the charges originally will be just DWI and could be upgraded depending on the results of the tests and how the DA's office looks at it. And the severity of the injuries could be another factor. So
I also wanted to ask, just add one thing to that. We also feel for the victim in this particular case. Okay, he didn't deserve that, regardless of what his status was or whether level of intoxication himself, darting across the road. He was intoxicated, but the one thing I also wanted, this incident has affected our officers too. And we talk about mental health for the officers. This is a colleague of theirs, and I'm getting chills just talking about it, that was arrested, was a good productive officer that made a tragic error in judgment that led to this person getting severely injured. But now with the officers that work in his squad, the supervisors, there's a whole thing that ended up having happen. It does affect the mental health. I'm more concerned now for the officers that are actually working because their colleague, a young officer, was arrested. And that's my consideration now, is asking them, are you okay? I mean, granted, we could take a hardline stance, I get that, but now these officers are left with the reality that one of their officers that were working, or that they work with on a close basis, because how going to calls and showing up at things, was arrested.
In their own precinct?
In their own precinct, with our own guys. This happened in another, that's a great point.
That's very hard.
That's a great point, because if it happened in the 5th precinct, it would be, we'd be a little removed from that, but we're not. This is a 2nd precinct officer arrested in the 2nd precinct. It also demonstrates the point that the protocols were in place where, although it was a difficult decision to do, it was a no-brainer and we had to make the arrest. So it shows transparency in terms of, you know, nobody's above the law, even us, and this is what we had to do. So it's just a tragic situation all around.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Anybody got a happy note we can end this on?
Sorry.
Yes, sir. In the back, go ahead.
So thank you. If you would allow me to share my story. So it's approximately back in the day, like in 1995, and I'm with my friend Joe, who's a New York City police officer, and maybe you've heard my story before, but you know, every year I gotta, you know, try to explain it somewhere. So thank you for your time. So we're having a little something at TGI Fridays, Nassau County, Post Avenue, and maybe I had 2 years and 2 hours. And this is way before the time now, thankfully. There are non-alcoholic beers, Peroni, Stella Artois, I think Heineken, even Corona might have something. So I have these 2 beers, maybe I had some food, and you know, unbeknownst, I went my way, Joe went his way, and there's an undercover police officer, you know, in the parking lot there, and he sees me go into my car, and at the time, this particular vehicle had tinted windows, so he sees me cross over Old Country Road. I'm now north of Old Country Road, near the church over there, St. Bridget's. He pulls me over, roll down the windows, you know, and, you know, I got a little wise with him, because he asked me, did I have anything to drink? Well, I said, you know I had, because I came out of the bar, you know, and I had 2 beers. So now I'm out of the car and I'm on the sidewalk with a field sobriety test. And at the end of that test, I have to blow through the straw. And fortunately, I was lucky. Whatever the value was, whatever what that number was, it was below whatever, you know, there's different levels.
Sure.
Under the influence, you know, intoxicated. And the number was different back then than it was today. So I think there's less tolerance now. So maybe back then it was 0.12, and now it's whatever, 0.08.
Right.
And, you know, with all this stuff too, now the sergeant on the tour, his tour is, you know, showing up also. Because I guess he had to get authorization or a second opinion for this situation I was at the time in. So fortunately I was lucky.
Okay.
And it was a wake up. So
well,
who knows where he is, but I tell a story because I've heard the story, you know, and mine was I was able to drive home. He told me to drive home safely. He was a young police officer. Maybe he saved my life.
right. No, you know what? Thank you for sharing that story, and that's a good way to look at it. But again, that's why I gave the warning earlier. I don't know if you were here, but this being a holiday weekend, we will be out there, and I'm sure it's not a pleasant experience to get arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated, because you will spend the night in jail. There is no bail for that until the next day when you go see the judge. So you will be sitting in a cell overnight. So that's why those warnings are there. That's why we talk about it. We have a highway patrol. I'm sure they're going to be out there, especially on this 4th of July weekend. It is, what, a Friday night? So I'm giving you the warning now. please use car service or designated driver, whatever it may be. Drink the non-alcoholic beers, whatever you want to do, but please don't drink and drive. That's the message. And we're going to end it there. It's getting late. Sorry. Is it very important or? Go ahead.
Last month I graduated from Suffolk Academy.
Oh, you did? The Civilian Academy? All right. Stand up. Stand up.
Recommend you do it. 16 weeks of fun. We made our class is 20 students, 20 graduates. We have fun. We have intensive. We make friends, and I have respect. Once I have respect for the police department, I have 200% respect now for what you guys do.
Oh yeah.
And you don't realize that until until you ride along with them and see what they do every day. You wear their shoes. You have great respect for these men and women.
I would.
What the hell they're walking into or what they're walking out.
I would recommend that class to anybody who would like to do that. They do a Civilian Academy class. You can sign up for that, and you get a real good look at what we do every day. So if anyone's interested and has the time to do it, I would recommend it. It's a great experience. That's what he's talking about. And you're gonna do. You want to do that?
We've done it.
Oh, you've done it, so you know. So there. So.
Best course I've ever taken in my life.
Did you do it too?
He did.
All right. Well, so you know. All right.
But I wanted to say something, and you know, to have all the law enforcement, if nothing else, it's a tough weekend.
It's a rough weekend.
I wish you all safe.
Thank you. We'll end it on that note. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you.